Stephanie White just revealed how the Indiana Fever are protecting Caitlin Clark and other Fever players from the dark side of professional sports. And it's something every WNBA team should be doing. White admitted that social media toxicity, sports betting harassment, and constant public scrutiny have become real problems for players. So the Fever hired a sports psychologist. They implemented pre-practice mental health routines. And they're preparing players for the onslaught that comes with being the most watched team in the league. This is how you build a championship culture in 2026. Let me break down what the Fever are doing and why other teams need to pay attention. Stephanie White was asked during a recent press conference whether she's had to coach the mental health side of the game more than in the past. And her answer was direct. Yes. The nature of the beast has changed. Players and coaches are dealing with things they never had to before, and the Fever are taking it seriously.
I mean, we have a sports performance coach, and Dr. Jamie Rubin. She works with us. She works with the Pacers. She does a great job of being a resource and being available. We implement certain things that we do pre-practice just to help us, be present, help us mentally make sure that we can find ways to minimize distraction as much as possible.
Let me make sure you understand what White just said. The Indiana Fever employ a full-time sports psychologist. Dr. Jamie Rubin works with both the Fever and the Indiana Pacers. And her job is to help players manage the mental and emotional toll that comes with being professional athletes in the social media era. This isn't just someone they call when there's a crisis. Dr. Rubin is integrated into their daily routine. The Fever implement mental health exercises before every practice. The goal is simple: help players be present, minimize distractions, and give them tools to handle the constant noise. Now think about what that actually means. The Fever are acknowledging that the mental game is just as important as the physical game. That you can't just tell players to ignore social media and expect them to be okay. That the pressure, the criticism, the harassment, all of it takes a real toll. And they're doing something about it. White specifically mentioned two problems: unkind people on social media and sports betting. Both are massive issues in professional sports right now, and both disproportionately affect high-profile players like Caitlin Clark. Social media toxicity is self-explanatory. Clark has millions of followers. She's the most watched player in the WNBA. And with that visibility comes an avalanche of criticism, hate, and harassment. Every missed shot gets dissected. Every loss gets blamed on her. Every personal decision gets judged by strangers who feel entitled to an opinion. But sports betting might be even worse, because now there are people who have money riding on every game. And when they lose, they blame the players. They send threatening messages. They harass athletes on social media because a missed free throw cost them a bet. And the WNBA has no control over it. The Fever are preparing their players for all of it, not by pretending it doesn't exist, but by giving them resources to handle it when it comes. If you want breakdowns like this on the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, and everything happening in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me show you why this matters so much. Here's the thing. The Fever aren't just doing this because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they have to. Because Caitlin Clark drives more attention than any player in WNBA history. And with that attention comes pressure that most athletes never have to deal with. All 44 Indiana Fever games are nationally televised this season. Every single one. That means every game Clark plays is being watched by hundreds of thousands of people. Sometimes over 1 million. And every single one of those viewers has an opinion and a platform to share it. Compare that to a player on a team that only gets 28 nationally televised games, or a player whose team barely gets mentioned in national media. The scrutiny isn't the same, the pressure isn't the same, and the mental toll isn't the same. Clark is dealing with a level of visibility that didn't exist in the WNBA before her. And the Fever understand that, so they're building infrastructure to support her. And everyone else on the roster, because it's not just Clark. Aaliyah Boston just signed the richest contract in WNBA history. Kelsey Mitchell is a veteran who's been through playoff runs and high-pressure games. Sophie Cunningham is known for being fiery and competitive. Every player on this roster is going to face increased scrutiny this season, and the Fever are preparing them for it. With Dr. Jamie Rubin, with pre-practice mental health exercises, with open conversations about what they're dealing with, Now let me show you what happens when teams don't do this, because the contrast is striking. Angel Reese just announced on Michelle Obama's podcast that she plans to skip mandatory media sessions and accept fines from the WNBA. She said the media hasn't always been great for her, and she'd rather pay money than feel like her back is against the wall answering questions. That's not a player who's being supported by her organization. That's a player who's struggling to handle the pressure and doesn't have the tools to deal with it. So her solution is to avoid it and pay the consequences. The Atlanta Dream clearly aren't doing what the Fever are doing. Because if Reese had access to a sports psychologist, if her team was implementing mental health practices, if her organization was giving her resources to manage the media scrutiny, she wouldn't be planning to skip press conferences. She'd have strategies to handle uncomfortable questions. She'd have support from professionals who understand the mental game. And she wouldn't be publicly announcing that she'll break league rules because she doesn't know how else to cope. That's the difference between a team that's building a championship culture and a team that's just hoping things work out. The Fever are investing in mental health. The Dream are dealing with a player who's already planning to rack up fines before the season even starts. One organization is proactive. The other is reactive. And the gap between them keeps getting wider. But here's what makes the Fever's approach even smarter. They're not just protecting players from external pressure. They're building internal resilience, because the mental health work they're doing prepares players for everything. Not just social media, not just sports betting harassment, but the grind of a 44-game season, the pressure of playoff games, the expectation that comes with being a championship contender. White mentioned that the Fever want players to be present, to minimize distractions, to stay focused on what actually matters. That's not just about avoiding negativity. That's about creating a mindset where players can perform at their best regardless of what's happening around them. And that's a massive competitive advantage. Because when two teams with equal talent face off, the team with better mental resilience usually wins. The team that can handle adversity without falling apart. The team that doesn't let outside noise affect their performance. That's the team that wins championships. The Fever are building that, with Dr. Jamie Rubin, with daily mental health practices, with a culture that acknowledges the reality of modern professional sports and prepares players to handle it. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean the Fever are perfect. It doesn't mean they won't face challenges. And it doesn't mean every player on the roster will handle the pressure flawlessly. But it does mean they're trying. They're investing resources, they're acknowledging that mental health matters, and they're giving players the tools to succeed. Compare that to the rest of the league. How many other teams employ a full-time sports psychologist? How many implement pre-practice mental health routines? How many are actively preparing players for the reality of social media toxicity and sports betting harassment? Most teams probably aren't doing any of it. They're hoping players can figure it out themselves. Or they're telling players to just ignore it and focus on basketball. But that's not enough anymore. Not when the pressure is this high. Not when the visibility is this intense. Not when millions of people are watching and judging every move. The Fever understand that. And they're doing something about it, which is why Stephanie White's comments matter so much. Because she's not just talking about mental health in the abstract. She's describing concrete actions the Fever are taking to support their players. Dr. Jamie Rubin is a real person. The pre-practice routines are real practices. The conversations about social media and sports betting are real discussions happening inside the Fever locker room. This isn't performative. This is organizational infrastructure. And it's exactly what a championship team looks like in 2026. Because winning isn't just about talent anymore. It's about managing the pressure that comes with being talented. It's about staying mentally healthy when the entire world is watching. It's about having support systems in place so players can focus on basketball instead of drowning in noise. The Indiana Fever are doing that. They're protecting Caitlin Clark. They're protecting Aaliyah Boston. They're protecting every player on their roster. Not by hiding them from the world, but by giving them the tools to navigate it successfully. And that's smart. That's forward thinking. That's what it takes to build a sustainable championship culture in the modern WNBA. Stephanie White just revealed that the Fever employ a sports psychologist, implement pre-practice mental health routines, and actively prepare players for social media toxicity and sports betting harassment. This is how you protect your players in 2026. This is how you build a team that can handle pressure. And this is what every other WNBA team should be doing. What do you think? Are the Indiana Fever doing the right thing by prioritizing mental health? And should other teams follow their lead? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.